recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I won't always smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no know me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
Today is today. And yesterday was today yesterday. Tomorrow will be today tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today as it is tomorrow.
Yes. It's okay. It's not the bad kind of fentanyl. It's the medicine kind of fentanyl. It's okay. We'll give you relaxing medicine. You got fentanyl and Versed.
Fentanyl?
Yes. It's okay. It's not the bad kind of fentanyl. It's the medicine kind of fentanyl. It's okay.
Y'all see it. Yep. That's what it is. Best hands in the world. Y'all be playing with me. Come taste it yourself. See all that butter? Deliciousness. Y'all want to know the secret so bad about it? A little bit more. A little bit more. This fish your asses out so bad, right? It makes people come down here and spend their money with me. So, like I said, whew, baby, we'll do the rest off camera. But I see y'all other restaurants, y'all copping my shit. I call y'all back. Get down here and spend that money with me.
What are you doing?
What?
Surprise party!
Surprise party?
Are you drunk?
Of course I am. It's a party. How are you the last one to show up to your own party? That is messed up. What party? Your birthday party. What are you talking about?
What are you doing?
What?
Surprise party!
Surprise party?
Are you drunk?
Of course I am. It's a party.
Okay, I didn't realize I was muted still. All right, sorry. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let me start my little spiel all over again. Thank you for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Also, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, and please double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. All right, Sophie is here, Black Queen Jax, Kajima's in the house, Anita Harrell, the lovely T, Lady Mahogany, Curly Girl, Timber Dan. All right. Timber Dan said, how dare you not let us hear your beautiful voice, Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right, shout out to my moderators putting in work. Bronze Flat Power God, Kathy B. Jet Black is here. Jervis, Bronze Flat Power God, Vince I Am all the way from the UK. DJ Big Six, Priscilla. Okay, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Y'all know the Queen is late as usual. I do apologize. There's always something. Okay. Now, first of all, let's get into it about Kamala, or as I love to call her, Kabami, affectionately, of course. All right. Now, the update that came in this morning, Trump faces a tighter race with Kamala Harris set to replace Biden, according to experts. And so President Joe Biden's endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for president has set the stage for a much tighter and uncertain race in November. What do y'all think about that when they say much tighter? Like they're saying that it's going to be harder to beat Kamala. What do you all think about that? Because really, when you look at the whole thing, if they were going to pull Biden out, they should have done that months ago. They should have told Biden to step down months ago. Now here we are at the 11th hour, and they want Biden to step down and bring in Kabami. I don't know how this is going to work out for them, but let me continue. Goes on to say, Democratic nominee for president has set the stage for a much tighter and uncertain race in November. Now, Biden stepped down from the race Sunday as top Democrats pressured him to drop out following a disastrous debate performance and as Republican nominee Donald Trump was leading in the polls. Now, the Democrats have been headed for a landslide defeat in November, but now they stand a chance, says Ian Brenner, founder and president of Eurasia Group. Says they've turned this race around and President Biden has given the Democrats a fighting chance. Is that what they really think? I find this all so hilarious, but let me continue. Harris now finds herself on a glide path to the Democratic nomination, though she still needs to win a majority of delegates ahead of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in August. Okay, well, what do you all have to say about it, honey? Because I'm just curious. Hold on just a second. Black Queen Jack said, what a joke. All right. Southwest Houston, Texas says, I think the media is setting the narrative for Kamala to assume the role of president. The elite is pulling the strings. Biden was already in a tight race with Trump and could have won. See, that's the thing. I think Biden was a better chance than beating Trump than she is. But hey, what? End of the day, I just don't know that this was a good idea. I mean, they should have had Biden step down a long time ago instead of waiting till the last minute. That's just my opinion. But hold on, let me share my screen so you all can hear what they have to say about it, because they're saying this is what experts say. Lady Mahogany says because he's sicker than what's being revealed. I'm banking the death angel is going to come for Biden very soon, and Kabami will be sworn in before January 6th. Well, I absolutely believe so. And like I told you guys, a very good friend of mine who's prophetic as well said to me last weekend, I want to say it was over the weekend, it was like 3 or 4 days ago, that Biden is dying due to illness. This is what she said. And I absolutely believe it. Okay? So with that all being said, it's not looking good as far as I'm concerned, but I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Let me put my overlay over this. Okay, here we go.
Dropping out of the presidential race, will the economy be a plus or a liability for potential nominee Kamala Harris? David Zervos is chief market strategist at Jefferies. Surat Sethi is managing partner and portfolio manager at DCLA. They're both CNBC contributors. Great to have you guys here tonight. Dave, I'll start with you. I know you can weigh in on so many markets, the economy. I mean, is there anything, let me put it this way, that you think is mispriced? And what would the economic implications be? Vastly different, as Jim Cramer kind of hinted at earlier this hour, with Harris instead of Biden on the ticket, or even as the potential winner?
You know, I saw Jim's interview. I guess I think the differences would be probably pretty slim, Kelly. I don't think you're going to get a lot of clarity on big differences in how we would be forecasting economic growth, payrolls, even inflation. I don't think that'll be the market's first instinct. The market first instinct is going to be not to look at the economy and the implication, but more to look at the risk scenarios that come up. Who is her VP? What are the odds of Trump? What are the odds of a Democratic candidate, whether her or someone else? And we just get a lot more in the distribution. Now the distribution is a little bit more complicated. I'm a little surprised the market's taking it as well as it is, but maybe the resolution of uncertainty on Biden is kind of being applauded. We know that's gone. But once the market wakes up and goes, wait a minute, I got to put in a whole bunch of different VP scenarios and maybe, Kamala not being the candidate. So I think it's a tricky one.
Dave, do you think on the margin that Jim is right, that she's perceived as more business or markets friendly than Biden, or even than Trump and Vance? That was his argument.
I think it would be a big stretch to go all the way to say more than Trump. Although, he was right about Vance's more populist stance. We had a very strong move toward populism with Vance. And I think the markets, they saw the union head speaking and sort of big business being thrown a little under the bus in that sense. So I really doubt people are going to get a Harris administration above a Trump administration is more business friendly. That would shock me. Whether she's more or less than Biden is up for debate, and we'll have to see what she says. We have a lot to learn, and the distribution just got a lot wider.
And Sarat, as some would say, well, Trump would still be seen, he would be more deregulatory focused, you would imagine, than a Harris presidency. You know, probably not pushing a green agenda that would be as kind of imposed from the top as she would. So it seems some classical ways that the parties would still align with what you imagine might be. Now, I don't know how you talk about that, though, as implications for the economy, because we've seen President Biden able to steer massive fiscal dollars towards sectors that are seeing huge inflows. And we've seen a lot of stock trades off the back of that as well. So what would you envision?
I think she's inheriting President Biden's policies. And I think for her, as David said so articulately, she has to now figure out how to differentiate herself amongst the rest of the candidates, if that's going to happen. And then really, what are her policies? So right now, we don't know. We just can assume that it's going to be more of the same. And if that is the case right now, the stock market is kind of voting on its feet. And the stock market is really going to vote on its feet going forward. So as some of the uncertainty gets resolved, and if there is less uncertainty as to if she's the candidate, then I think, again, we have to look at the polls. We have to look and see where the markets are going and who's going to be more business friendly. And right now, unless she says something drastically different, it would seem that her policies are going to be very similar. It's going to be.
Who do you think? So let's say you own the NVIDIA or you own the Fab 5, the Mag 7, Sarat. Which administration is better for those stocks, do you think?
Well, I think at this point, Silicon Valley really likes the Trump administration, and you saw that last week, which was kind of a change given what we had 4 years ago. But J.D. Vance has, he came up in that part of the world, so you've got that, and we also know in the Trump administration there is rhetoric, and he will be talking about what to do. But the question will be what will really happen. And he did tariffs before, and will do tariffs again. So that's kind of embedded, but he's also pro-business. So I think it'll be interesting for Kamala Harris to say how is she going to do more of that, and if she starts going more pro-business and where taxes come across, she could lose some of her base too.
Right.
So I think she's got to play a fine line there too, as to say how pro-business am I going to be, and what.
I'm sorry, but to me, is it just me? Or did that just sound like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo and word salad? Business friendly and all of that they kept saying. What's so business friendly about her? I find it also interesting. Now, Lisa Jackson says, oh God, that crackling hen is even worse. That cackling hen. Exactly. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. I absolutely think that they're just trying to tell us whatever to make people vote for Kabami and trying to make it look like it's all good and all gravy. And I don't really think it is. And as a matter of fact, the young black man who went to prison falsely accused by Kabami in her office, and they fought to keep him in there even though they had evidence to prove that he was innocent. Well, he's come out and spoken, and I'm going to be sharing that video in just a moment. But before I do, let's go to some more videos of things that people had to say about Kabami. And first of all, for those of you who may be thinking, Edward, my beloved Edward, I believe is in the chat. And Edward told me on yesterday that regardless, we have to back her. Edward, you need to sit down somewhere. Okay? Kamala is an episode of The Simpsons. All right, please pay attention. Please pay attention. The thought that we have to pay attention to this woman, that we have to sit there and back her because she's black. First of all, she's not black, and she never said that she was until it was time to vote. Okay, so let's get into it. Now I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show several videos of people saying things about Kamala, and those people are black. Please pay attention. All right, please pay attention. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here we go.
Before y'all Democrats start trying to play the race card, I want y'all to understand this. Kamala is not black. Her kids is not black. Her husband is not black. She does not come from black culture. So don't tell me I got to support Kamala Harris because she's black. The race pander from the Democratic Party got to stop. It's really that simple. Thank you for listening.
Okay, no lies detected.
Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No. Any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all.
Please pay attention. This is what Kabami has to say. Now, I don't know why some of y'all choose to think that this woman is one of us, because clearly she is not.
Kamala Harris was the queen of mass incarceration. Kevin Cooper was hours away from receiving lethal injection. Hours away from it. His lawyers asked that DNA evidence be acquired in order to make sure he was actually guilty of the crime. Kamala Harris's office tried to prevent DNA evidence from being acquired. They wanted Kevin Cooper to be executed, but the governor of California disagreed. They acquired DNA evidence, and the execution was stopped. The New York Times tells us that she feels really bad about it, for whatever that means. And people can also recall that while she was head of the California State Attorney General's office, over 1,000 people were locked up for smoking marijuana. She presided over jailing a lot of people. And on top of that, the drug labs in the state of California that were being used by the police were turning up false positive results. And yet Kamala Harris's office did not tell the defense attorneys or the judges about this. They knew that the drug labs were turning over false positives, and people went to prison because her office concealed that their drug labs were turning up false positives. And another thing about Kamala Harris, I don't know if people saw, but there's a video of Kamala Harris where she's bragging about how she jailed the parents of children who were truant from school.
I would not be standing here were it not for the education I received. And I know many of us will say the same thing. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my reelection race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it.
Have you seen the clip? And she gets up there, and it's the same kind of thing. She's giggling. Yes, I had the idea that we could lock up parents who are truant from school. You know, I wouldn't be anywhere in my life if it weren't for my education. And so not giving a child their education is a crime. And so I jailed parents, and she's giggling about it. It's just so great. And, you know, I see so much in U.S. media. They like to trivialize incarceration. There's so many shows on Netflix and all of that where it ends towards the end where someone goes to jail, but it's part of the happy ending. It's okay. And they don't seem to realize what that means. You know, when one member of a family, when a father or a mother goes to prison.
Okay, so I'm sorry. And this is absolutely true. She did brag and she did laugh. And most of those people that she locked up for truancy, for their children being truant, were Black women. Okay? And that was all by design. That was no, that was not by happenstance. That's what she wanted to do. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now I'm going to play for you the video that I did a TikTok for this morning with a young man. I just uploaded this video basically of the young man who spoke out about how Kamala and her team had him sent to prison and he was absolutely innocent. And then they fought to keep him there. Okay, please pay attention. Now, you already heard in this video that I just finished where there was a man who was about to be executed on death row. Didn't do it, completely innocent. Okay, and Kamala's office wanted him to stay there. Okay, so please pay attention. And these are Black men, by the way, for anyone who's confused. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sell's murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, Nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged. That's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I want to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truths We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now, we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
Police were keeping files on you, your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They already had me labeled because I'm in this community as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, you know, things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes.
It happened to you.
Exactly. There is
proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was going to understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when my friend Shakur got killed.
More than a year goes by, and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, you know, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, you know, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're going to figure this out. They're going to clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. she said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The district attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the two times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That was 6.5 years that I...
All right. So there you have it. Okay. Not only did they put him in prison, they wanted to keep him there, even though they had evidence to prove that he absolutely didn't do it. And that wasn't the first or last time those things happened under her watch. Okay. And with that all being said, here's the thing. I'm not saying that because we can't trust Kabami and she's not like us, that you should be voting for Donald Trump, because he's not like us either. And nor is he going to do anything significant or beneficial for us as far as I'm concerned. Okay, but for people to sit there and act like these are the only two choices, they're not. Okay, I'm voting for Dr. Shiva. I'm not going to tell people who to vote for, but use common sense. Okay, and look at the history of both parties and who is going to do something for you. At the end of the day, vote for your best interests. That's what everybody should be doing. Also, Mr. Elevation, thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved. And also, thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, Mr. Elevation asked, what is her tactic going to be this time? Because we're not falling for the BS chucks and pearls. Yeah, absolutely not. Now, I'm sorry, but some of these people are going to fall for it again, the same people who fell for it the last time, because they absolutely think, and you can't tell them any different, that Kamala's one of us, but she's not. She's absolutely not. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her being of a different heritage and ethnicity, but the bottom line is it's very annoying for me when they say that she's African-American when there's nobody African-American in her family. She's not African-American. So why do they keep saying that? Because they want to force her on us, and they want us to feel obligated to vote for her because she's Black. But she's not Black, is she? Okay, so please make that make sense. So I don't feel obligated to vote for anyone who would willingly and without any remorse put Black men in prison knowing that they're innocent. Okay? I don't care who she is at the end of the day. And Trump can be as racist as he wants. I don't expect Trump to do anything for us. At the end of the day, Kabami is the one who sits up there with Bantu knots in her hair, laying down her baby hair and all of that, claiming that she went to an HBCU while standing in front of a Black Panther poster, acting like she's all down for us. But didn't she say, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people? No. So that's what she said at the end of the day. So I'm sorry, but I don't have any empathy or sympathy for her plight, her campaign, or any of that. And she's already let us know who she is. And when people show you who they are, believe them. She's no different, as I told you yesterday, than Linda Fairburn. Okay, or Linda Fairstein, the one who sent the Central Park 5 to prison. What's the difference? I don't see any. Now, let's talk about this other case I saw somebody put in the chat, likes up about Matrice Richardson. Okay, California Attorney General's office reverses refusal, will now review Matrice Richardson case. Now, they didn't want to review it at first, and that was when Kabami was in office. So let's talk about it. Letter from Matrice Richardson's father to California AG Kamala Harris triggers unexpected response. Now, 6 years after Matrice Richardson's body was found in Malibu, the California Attorney General's office announced that it would conduct a criminal investigation into the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to the way they handle Matrice's case. Now, the decision came just 3 months after the AG's office denied a request to look into the case in November. So Kamala had no interest, her office had no desire to look into this young woman's case until after the fact. The father had to send letters and all of this. Now, many people are asking what caused the AG's office to reverse its decision. For those unfamiliar with the backstory, in September of 2009, an employee at a Malibu restaurant called the sheriff's department after Matrice was unable to pay an $89 dinner tab. Matrice appeared to be in the middle of a mental health crisis and was talking about Mars and acting bizarrely. Okay, arresting deputies found Matrice to be sober and took her to the LASD's Lost Hills station. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, instead of holding Matrice based on her questionable mental state, the 24-year-old woman was freed in the middle of the night at the Lost Hills station on Agora Road, 40 miles away from her home in South LA, without her purse, her identification, wallet, or her cell phone. Now, all of which had been towed away with her car. Officers told her mother, Latrice Sutton, that they would not let Matrice out until the morning. But when Latrice called the station in the early morning hours before heading out to Malibu, her daughter had already been released. Now, the next time Latrice phoned the station, she asked how long she had to wait to report Matrice, who had neither shown up nor called. She wanted to report her as missing. Latrice said she was concerned about Matrice's safety because she believed her daughter to be highly depressed. The officer Latrice spoke with told her call back if her daughter was still missing after a few more hours, saying once more time had expired. Maybe we can do something for you. Now, an hour later, around 6:30 a.m., a Monte Nido resident called the Lost Hills station to report that he had encountered a slender black woman sitting on the back steps of his house. When he asked if she was okay, the woman told him she was just resting. Deputies went out to the house, but Matrice was gone. It took more than 6 hours beyond that sighting from the stations for the station to issue a be on the lookout alert. Okay, the sheriff's department did not launch a formal search for 2 days after Matrice was sent out into the night. Nearly a year later, and 1 month after the LA County Office of Independent Review found deputies' midnight release of Matrice to be within policy, park rangers searching the Santa Monica Mountains for a marijuana farm found Matrice's naked remains just 2 miles from the Santo Nido home where she was last seen, far from any established trail. Her bra, jeans, and other clothing items were scattered 100 or more yards away from her body. Her underwear, shoes, socks, and shirts were never found. There were other strange things about Matrice's remains. Her body and clothing were not as decomposed as would be expected for having been exposed to the elements for 11 months. Her femur had been detached from her soft tissue and found uphill, and her arm was in a gravity-defying position as if her body had been mummified in a different environment. So likely someone killed her and then took her body and dumped it there. That's clearly not the place of the crime scene. This is also egregious. Now, instead of bringing in the LA County coroner that day, department members removed Matrice's remains via helicopter, allegedly against orders from the coroner, because nobody's supposed to touch the body except the coroner. Okay, so they did this without the coroner's consent. Now, the deputies did not collect soil samples and left neck bones and other bits of Matrice behind. This is shoddy police work. Sounds like it was done purposely, because I know they have better sense than this. Now, when Latrice trekked into the remote area of Malibu Canyon where her daughter was found, Latrice reportedly found Matrice's finger. So she found her daughter's finger. Now, in November of 2015, Matrice's mentor, Dr. Rhonda Hampton, submitted a 500-page complaint to the AG's office requesting a review of the case. The AG's office responded with a letter denying that request. Your inquiry has been given a careful evaluation by attorney staff who have determined that no formal action is warranted by this office. The records you provided do not create a reasonable inference that the actions of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department or its employees violated any law. That's what Kamala's office said initially. Now, it's yet unclear what caused Harris's office to change its tune and pick up the Matrice Richardson case. In December, Matrice's father, Michael Richardson, sent Attorney General Kamala Harris a letter that was very personal and compelling in tone. In the letter, Richardson alleges former Los Hills Sheriff Station Captain Tom Martin concealed evidence by hiding camera footage of the night Matrice was in custody and telling the Richardson family the cameras were not in operation the night that she was arrested. Captain Martin later confessed to the Malibu Surfside newspaper and editor, Ann Sobel, that he lied about his information that he wrote about Richardson. Several months after he finally provided the tape to the family, it was severely altered and tampered with. Sounds like the police took her life to me. Richardson said department members violated the same law, Penal Code 135 PC, when they moved his daughter's remains despite an order to not touch anything from the county coroner. Now, due to the haste and the manner in which the untrained sheriffs carried this out, when Matrice's mother was allowed to visit the site where Matrice was found, she continued to find parts of Matrice's remains like fingers and such. Now, this action has literally destroyed and killed the investigation. Richardson pleaded with A.G. Harris, appealing to the fact that Harris is a woman of color in an elected position of power. She didn't care. She didn't want to help him. You see, Miss Harris, I look at you and I see Matrice Richardson, the young woman. This is what the young woman's father said in a letter. A young, intelligent, smart, black, and beautiful young lady who busted her butt in school to one day become someone who could be helpful and make a difference in people's lives. Senior Assistant Attorney General Lance Winters responded to Richardson's letter on January the 29th, notifying the father that the AG's office had decided to look into the LASD's handling of the case, but did not further elaborate. 10 days later, U.S. Attorney Eileen Decker announced that former LASD Sheriff Lee Baca would plead guilty to a felony, a deal that had been in the works for weeks. When Witness LA requested an explanation for the decision reversal, a representative from the AG's office told them, "We can't comment on ongoing review." Okay, so they weren't going to do anything about it. They were not initially going to do anything about it, and I would like to know why. And then all of a sudden, after they get the letter from the young woman's father, then they changed their mind, okay? And that police officer absolutely seems to have had something to do with it. And then he was found guilty of a felony, but they don't give any further information or details, okay? So this all sounds real shady. But like I said, it is so nefarious, Mr. Elevation, absolutely. Okay, so please make it all make sense. Now let's have a word from my sponsor before we get into the next part. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Want healthier, stronger, shinier hair? Tired of products that don't work for coily or kinky hair? Meet 12 Tribes, the vegan hair care line designed for you. Our products are made with love for your gorgeous coils. We offer hair growth butters, oils, shampoos, and hairsprays. These products help your hair grow long, thick, and shiny. Imagine a hair care line that's 100% vegan and perfect for coily hair. No more guessing if it's really going to work for you. Our butters are rich and nourishing, feeding every strand. Our oils are lightweight but powerful, sealing in moisture without greasy residue. Shampoos and butters leave your hair clean and soft, never stripped. What sets us apart? Our dedication to your hair's needs. No harsh chemicals, just effective, natural ingredients. And the results speak for themselves. Start your journey to healthier, shinier hair today. Visit our Etsy shop, Lisa Crafts. Click the link in the description below. Give your hair the care it deserves. Join our satisfied customers and see the difference.
All right. Now, everyone who follows the backup channel, please stay tuned because we're going live on there in about 10 minutes, okay, right after this broadcast. So moderators, please drop the link to the next live in the chat. We have to talk about this man who was suspected of robbery And then he went on a high-speed chase while he was on a live. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with people. People have clearly lost their minds. And also a 12-year-old suffocated an 8-year-old. So we got to talk about that on the backup channel. Now let's get into this. So Kamala Harris and the Democrats face an unprecedented task with 100 days left to the election. So when Joe Biden addressed the NAACP convention in Las Vegas last week, one of his biggest applause lines was a line that set off chants of 4 more years, was when he praised Kamala Harris as not only a great vice president, but someone who could be president of the United States. Now she has that chance. So on Sunday, when the president made the extraordinary decision to end his re-election campaign, he made an equally momentous choice to offer his full support and endorsement of Harris to be the next Democratic nominee and take on Donald Trump in November. You know what just might happen? Here's the thing. Biden just might go ahead and resign and let Kamala go ahead and be president for now. And then that way it's easier for them to try to get her in November. Please pay attention, but let me continue. So on Sunday, when the president made the extraordinary decision to end the re-election campaign, he made an equally momentous choice to offer his full support and endorsement of Harris to be the Democratic nominee and take on Donald Trump in November. It's time to come together and beat Trump. This is what he said. Let's do this. Now, the announcement just weeks before the Democrats are set to formally choose their nominee at the convention in Chicago has plunged an already tumultuous contest deeper into uncharted waters while thrusting his would-be successor into the spotlight. He says, I am honored to have the president's endorsement, or this is what Kamala says, I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda. Now, with just over 100 days until the November election, the task before her is monumental and unprecedented. An assassination attempt on Trump has united Republicans behind him and appears to have strengthened his hand as Democrats dissolved into a debate over Biden's fitness to serve. The question of who would replace Biden has consumed Democrats and party strategists, allowing for an intense public debate over whether Harris would be the strongest candidate to defeat Trump in November. Now, the U.S.-born daughter of immigrants, Harris spent much of her career as a prosecutor before becoming California's attorney general, overseeing the nation's second-largest justice system. And in 2016, she was elected to the U.S. Senate, becoming the first South Asian American and only second Black woman to serve the chamber when she distinguished herself from asking tough questions of Trump-era political nominees. Now, don't you all find it interesting that they call her the first South Asian American and then only second Black woman? How is she Black? I'm sorry, what? But let me continue. Many of Harris's supporters say that she is the obvious heir apparent to Biden. She is also the administration's strongest messenger on abortion rights, a top issue for many voters, especially women. But her skeptics point to her failed 2019 bid for the Democratic nomination, which lacked cohesion and vision, and her shaky start to the vice presidency, which opened her to withering Republican criticism. Some Democrats are not necessarily opposed to Harris, but believe that she would benefit from an open competition to prove to party skeptics, donors, and voters that she is the best candidate for the job. They say a fast primary campaign would showcase to the American people that Harris is the best person for the job, and would also give would-be contenders a chance to compete or at least debut as potential running mates. By anointing Harris, Biden has greatly tipped the scale in her favor, but it does not automatically make her the nominee. Jamie Harrison, chair of the Democratic National Committee, called the situation unprecedented, but said the party was committed to carrying out a transparent and orderly process. Many Democrats have already thrown their support behind Harris, including a wide swath of members of Congress, such as Hillary Clinton, the first major female presidential nominee, and some would-be opponents like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation. But a number of Democrats who have been named as potential alternatives noticeably have not. And some presidential hopefuls are reportedly considering a challenge. Now, Harris has a handful of advantage over other potential challengers. She has been vetted at the national level at the national level and has a good name recognition as Biden's running mate. She would also likely inherit key parts of his campaign, which includes a large war chest of donor funding and massive field operation. Like I told you all on yesterday, if they want to keep that donor funding, they want to keep all that money they've raised, they have to go with Harris. Okay, so with that all being said, please pay attention. On Sunday, Biden's campaign fund was renamed Harris for President. A filing with the Federal Elections Commission shows this. Now, as of Saturday, the campaign had nearly $96 million worth of cash on hand, according to the FEC. And donors who abandoned Biden in an effort to push him from the race could restart their contributions to a presidential campaign led by a younger candidate. Now, Harris may also benefit from Democrats' desperate desire to unite quickly and turn the focus back on Trump, who they view as an existential threat to American democracy. Trump has reportedly mocked Harris, assailing her intelligence and her laugh and mispronouncing her name. And on Sunday, Trump called Harris as much of a joke as Biden and said that she had been complicit in covering up the president's decline. So Harris has been the enabler in chief for Crooked Joe this entire time, says Trump. They own each other's records, and there is no distance between the two. Former president has a history of amplifying racist and sexist conspiracies about Harris, including a birther lie that suggested falsely she might be ineligible to serve as president. Here Trump goes with this foolishness again. Okay, he knows darn well this woman is able to serve as president. Now, the independent candidate, Robert F. Kennedy, also attacked Harris as a war hawk on Ukraine and China and accused her of holding one of the worst civil rights records of any public official. Republicans have said they were prepared for a torrent of opposition research on Harris stemming from her failed 2020 campaign and her years as vice president. If the attacks ramp up, they could play on Harris's vulnerabilities. Recent polling that considered a hypothetical matchup between Harris and Trump found her running close to or stronger than Biden nationally and in the battleground states. Now, like Biden, Harris is unpopular, though her approval rating has ticked up slightly in the weeks since the party began pressuring Biden to withdraw following his disastrous debate. They say she's the most unpopular vice president since Dan Quayle. And Dan Quayle is the most unpopular vice president since Aaron Burr. Frank Lutz, a pollster and consultant, said. Now, Burr, remembered as the vice president who mortally wounded Alexander Hamilton, served under Thomas Jefferson at the turn of the 19th century. Harris's supporters say that her historic nomination could help inspire and mobilize Democrats who had so far been delusioned by their options. And so I find this also interesting. What do you all think? Cat Eye said, did she lie though? Chatador says, thank you. Them donors don't want her. It's Gavin. I absolutely believe so. I agree with you on that. Okay. Sunset Knight says, should have let Biden run, then pass it to Cam, but the man is sick. Yeah, he absolutely is sick. I really do believe that. Very sick indeed. They said it was stupid 19, but I don't think it's that. I think it's something worse. So anyway, this is where it's at. Now, do you all think, once in the chat, do you all think that Kamala can beat Trump? Once in the chat, if you think that Kamala can beat Trump. Let's talk about it. Juju said exactly, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Jalen says she's Sarah Palin in blackface. I agree. Okay. Christopher says I'm not voting for her. I'm not either. I'm voting for Dr. Shiva. Okay. People putting twos in the chat. Yeah, I don't think that she has the wherewithal to beat Trump. I'm sorry. I just don't see it at the end of the day. And, you know, if her or Trump gets into the White House, it's going to be detrimental as far as I'm concerned. Neither one of them deserves it. Trump's already trying to back out of the debate. Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. And thank you, Dan, for that insight and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Here's the thing. Trump does not want to debate Kamala Harris, I'm sure. He doesn't want to go one-on-one, toe-to-toe with Kamala. Now, mind you, she's a prosecutor, former prosecutor, and he's a convicted felon. This is going to be a sideshow. Okay, this is going to be a whole circus. Christopher says she can't beat a chicken. Okay. Now, I can't wait for this debate, which I do believe is going to be in September. I wish it would get here sooner because I really am anxious to see this. But at the end of the day, Kamala, yeah, she's not getting my vote. She's not winning me over. She's done nothing significant for Black people, nor will she ever, as far as I'm concerned. And they really need to stop trying to pander to us and trying to force her on us by saying that she's black, because she's not. Okay. And even if she were black with her track record, I still wouldn't vote for her. Okay. 100 Black says Trump is a liar and Kamala will be easy to manipulate. This is likely true. April says, so let the sideshow begin. It's a no for me. It's a no for me too, beloved. Okay. Sophie said, going to be the first debate that I will have patience to watch. Okay. So anyway, my aunt Egypt said Kamala is Jamaican and Indian. Right. And she's not even a full Jamaican, because her father is Jamaican mixed with British or something. He's mixed with something else too. So she's not even a full thing of that. Okay. She's definitely of mixed ethnicity, but them saying that she's African-American is just annoying as far as I'm concerned. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Desmond said a predator versus dusty knees. Desmond, that is so low down, but I have to agree. Sophie said Irish. Yes, that's exactly what I think he is, beloved. Irish and Jamaican. Okay, and then her mother is East Indian. So no, she's not black. And then Odd Negroes official says she never corrects them. No, she doesn't. She absolutely doesn't. And the main time that she tries to act like she's down with us, with black folk, is when it's time for election. That's the only time we hear from her or the rest of the Democrats too. Okay. Now, the question is, if she does officially get the nomination, who is she going to pick as her running mate? Who is she going to pick as her running mate? I have questions. Is it going to be Pete Buttigieg, or is it going to be Gavin Newsom? I believe it'll be one of them. I no longer think of Hillary. I'm thinking Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom. Okay. With that all being said, likes up, everyone, please. Likes up, please like and share. And here's the thing. Like I said, if they wanted Biden to step down, they should have done that a whole lot sooner, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So with that all being said, I'm about to be out of here. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. And here's the thing too. You may remember, well, maybe you read about it. This country will not accept a female president, since Odd Negroes official. Well, I don't think they'll accept a female president, but I definitely don't think they'll accept one who's not white. I definitely don't think they'll accept one who is not white. I just don't see it happening. Okay. I just don't see it happening at all. And you know, this is rare for a president to step out of the race or whatever, because the last time that probably happened, if memory serves me correct, was with Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay, with Lyndon B. Johnson stepping down and handing it over to his vice, and then endorsing his vice president, if I'm not mistaken, who I believe was Hubert Humphrey. Okay, so look what happened to Hillary. Exactly. All right. And Hillary did win the popular vote, but Trump beat her thanks to the Electoral College. And as I've told you all before, the Electoral College decides who's going to be the president, not us going out there voting. Okay. The Electoral College makes the decision. That's how Al Gore could win the popular vote, and then George Bush is still the president, because he got the Electoral College votes. And the same thing with Trump and Hillary. So that's how it really goes. They can fool us all they want with this whole thing of inclusion and all of that. So everyone, please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. I hope to see you all in the next broadcast. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hate